Hello YouTube, Slate Warrior here, and I'm going to be doing game 2 of the duel between me and the RJB0. If you haven't seen game 1, you should go to my channel. I'm not going to link every single game of every single match in the description of every single video, but, if you want to see the previous matches, it'll be on my channel. Just go ahead and check that out. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to be showing the side decks that I have, the side decking between games, because I want to preserve the novelty of the fact that I'm going to be doing a deck profile for a finale to all of this. But you can see the side cards that I sided in, and like I said in the last video, the deck is changing. This isn't the final build, but speaking of the final build of this deck, so I guess I'll get to the duel. I like to actually commentate the duels when I do these, but I just want to talk to you guys real quick. Okay, so I went to locals today. I went to an actual locals, like a card shop, and I dueled people, right? Actual real people. But yeah, so I don't have a locals where I live, if you guys don't know that, so I had to look on the Konami website, yu-gi-oh-card.com or whatever it is, and I went to the locals locations, and I found a shop that was nearest to me. It was an hour away, but I somehow convinced my mom to drive me there, and I of course thank her for that. But the point is, it was a battle pack tournament, right? It was not draft, but what's it called? A constructed. It's pre-constructed or something. It's just you open your packs and you make your decks out of that. It's not like draft where you pass around the decks. But the point is, there was a little tournament for that, so I didn't win it, but it was fun. But yeah, so I just want to give a shout out to the 3 guys that were there at locals that I was hanging out with. They asked for a shout out, so there you go. But yeah, after the battle pack tournament, we played some casual duels, and I used this deck, my little chaos build here. And I played against Lightsworns, I lost 2-1, and I played against Sylvan, I also lost 2-1. So, I'm not too upset. I only played 2 duels with this deck there, and 2-1's not that bad, I did get OTK'd once, and that was pretty bad, but I did come back from a triple JD Blaster field, so that was pretty nice when I was playing Lightsworn. They dropped triple JD and Blaster, and I dropped Gores, and so he didn't game me. I had 500 life points left the next turn. I put a board on, I put a pretty good board on board, and I attacked, and I pretty much cleared his field. And the next turn he did 400 life points, he couldn't do all 500, and the next turn I just gamed him. So that was pretty nice. It was a pretty good performance by this deck. But anyway, yeah, I totally haven't been paying attention to what's been going on between my duel with the TheRJB0. Okay, so yeah, it seems as if he is going to be using Thunder Seahorse right now to do Thunder Seahorse search types of things. I drew a Malicious, that's never good. Alright, so he adds double Hunter to his hand. Hunter is really good because it is essentially the recycling card of the deck, as if recycling batteries wasn't enough of a recycling card. So yes, Hunter is now using its recycling effect to then go ahead and recycle the card that searched it, which would be Thunder Seahorse. It's pretty cool that they can do that. They can just keep looping Hunter and Thunder Seahorse, or they can use Thunder Seahorse, get Hunters, and then get your Thunder Seahorse back, and then keep getting searches. And all you have to do is sacrifice your special summoning. But with Hunders, a deck that runs so much back row, you can kind of deal with that, right? So my deck struggles against back row in general right now. But let's see what I do. I believe I'm just going to attack over it. Yeah, okay, I didn't even mill yet. Maybe I should have milled before that. I don't know what I'm thinking at this point. So yeah, I attack over the Hunter. I don't know, maybe I didn't, want to mill. Yeah, it seems like I'm just going to mill for the end. Oh yeah, mill for the I thought I totally cheated there. Alright, no, I didn't cheat. So there we go, yeah, I just milled for the end phase, and he activates his Thunder Seahorse effect again to grab some Hunters. That card is so good for their deck. I believe it's a secret rare. I'm not exactly sure when it came out or what it came out in. It was like a promo for something, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, he goes and summons the Hunter. He activates the effect of the Hunter, and I let that go through. And I think at this point, what I'm thinking is that if he goes into his extra deck, I'll Veiler that effect, because, I don't have very much committed to the board right now. I've got 5 cards in my hand. I got a back row, I believe it's an MST. Got a Ride-In, which, is pretty expendable. I mean, it's milling during the end phase, but, the milling is just, continuous. I can just keep getting whatever I need. But there, I go ahead and draw another Ride-In. One thing about Ride-In is that his effect is once per turn. Like, he can only use his effect once per turn. So if you have double Ride-In on board, you can't actually mill. You can use his end phase effect, obviously. You can mill, 4 during the end phase with 2 with each Ride-In, but you can't activate the effect to send 2 from the top of your deck to the graveyard during the main phase. You can only do it with 1 Ride-In. Alright, so since I have 2 Ride-In, I decided to go ahead and discard my Destiny Hero Malicious, as well as my other Ride-In, and bring out a Light Pulsar, ask for his response, and he has none. And at this point, I believe I'm just going to sync up into Leo. I don't really think I have any other plays that I want to be doing. I could totally overextend here with Malicious and Plague. Let's see. How do I handle this? Yeah, like I said, there's only Plague in the graveyard. Okay, I guess I am going to overextend with Malicious and Plague. I haven't normal summoned yet, so I can do the whole malicious plague combo to get off 2 level 8 synchros. There is definitely some lag in these games, by the way. Speaking of lag, this game, oh, sorry about the escape full screen thing at the top, just happens, I don't think you guys care. Speaking of lag, at the end of the video, it sort of gets cut off because I lagged out. He was going to beat, well, I guess I kind of spoiled it, but he was going to beat me at that point anyway. So, I guess I did spoil it yesterday. This was going to be going into 3 games. But yeah, he was gonna be beating me anyway at that point. So it's not a really big deal that it lagged out. He was in a winning position. So yeah, now I go ahead and I sync up for the Leo that I said I was gonna sync up for earlier. Synchro into sync up, whatever. I ask if he has a solemn. Bottomless. He says okay. Leo can't be targeted, as you guys know, except during my main phase 2, which means the only cards that could really deal with that would be such like a Fiendish Chain is pretty good against Leo because you can use it during our main phase 2. Breakthrough skill, but then you have to use another card after you use breakthrough skill, and there aren't really that many chainable cards. Like I guess you could activate breakthrough skill during my main phase 2 and then compulse him back, but so yeah, I guess you could compulse him back without using breakthrough skill, so never mind. There are just some cards that you might want to break through skill before using on Leo because you need to get rid of that whole targeting effects. But I guess, yeah, if you can activate something in the main phase 2, I don't see why, unless there's something that can only be activated in the end phase or something. So just ignore what I just said. That was kind of, just me rambling. But anyway, at this point, I'm going to use Plague and Light Pulsar to sync into a Beals, and I'm going to see if he has a response to that. I asked for Mirror Force. I'm going into the Beals to, slightly protect me from that. So yeah, I'm totally overextending here. I'm sure he has, like, some sort of, I'm assuming that he doesn't because he hasn't been responding. Like, maybe those are just set, Chain to Mally. Assuming those are just, set dead back row, maybe some stuff like what's dead against my deck. MSTs would be dead. If you had if you wanted to set a recycling batteries, just whatever spell. I ask him what it is because I don't want to get out of my deck. It's Vanity's Emptiness. So what will happen is I will banish the malicious for no effect because I cannot resolve it by special summoning it. So okay, so this is a pretty interesting ruling right now, right? So he activated Vanity's Emptiness, right? So I chain MST targeting something else. But the thing is, if I do it that way, then the malicious will not be able to resolve properly because the Vanity's Emptiness doesn't get destroyed until a new chain after the MST Vanity's Emptiness chain has resolved, because the MST will destroy his card, and then after that has resolved, the new chain will start by Vanity's Emptiness killing itself. So that means that at the time that Malicious was trying to resolve, Vanity's Emptiness would still be on the field, preventing Malicious from resolving properly. So what I end up doing here is, as I keep saying, the RJB0 is a nice guy who likes to have a good time, and he lets me fix my mentality because he knows that I'm trying to get rid of the Vanity's Emptiness, so he just lets me MST the Vanity's Emptiness instead. So my Malicious seems to be resolving properly. So I'm going to sync again, banishing the Plague this time. Like, I'm totally overextending here. Like, if he has a Torrential, I lose 2 of my 3 monsters, and these are some big monsters right now. So yeah, I'm activating the effect of Scrap Dragon and targeting a random back row, and of course Beals, because, Beals won't get destroyed, because, all you have to do is target. It's not like the card that you destroy for your side of the field has to be sent. Like, it's not like a cost or anything, so, you can target something that can't be destroyed, and it just won't be destroyed. So what he does here is actually an extremely smart play that I just wanted to, point out in particular. What he does is, instead of not breakthrough skill, Fiendish chaining my Scrap Dragon because the targeted card was a wiretap, he instead Fiendish chains the Beals. If he Fiendish chains Scrap Dragon, his wiretap, what would happen is I'd keep my Beals, but also he'd keep his wiretap, which the wiretap is pretty useless against me anyway. So what he did instead is he Fiendish chained my Beals, not my Scrap Dragon. He Fiendish chained my Beals, because then the Beals would get destroyed because its effect to protect itself is negated. So instead of Fiendish chaining the Scrap Dragon to protect his wiretap and everything on my field, he Fiendish chained the Beals to destroy my Beals and get rid of his wiretap, but he doesn't care because I'm not playing any traps. I don't know if I sided into Decree. I think I should have sided into Decree if I didn't, but so yeah. He says he's going to do some math. That's okay. We all have to, math is a pretty big important part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because life points are, of course, numbers. So I attack over his Hunter, and he takes the battle damage from Beals. I mean, not Beals, Scrap Dragon, I'm sorry. They're both purple. So yeah, now I attack over Hunter with Leo, getting him down to 2100 life points. And at this point, like, I'm really just thinking his back row must be, like, completely dead. Like, I'm in a great situation right now. Like, those are 2 back row that he hasn't activated yet. Why didn't he side out the wiretaps? I think I might have mentioned that somewhere in the chat over here. when I destroyed the wiretap. I don't know why he didn't side them out. Like, I guess he thought that I was going to side into Krieg or something. So he uses Upstart Goblin, which puts me at 10,000 life points, and I'm just like totally, you know, assuming that I'm on top. But as I told you guys, I do end up losing this duel, and you'll see why. He just, you know, oh, there it is, just Dark Hole, completely a blowout against my deck right now because I had no Beals on the field. You know, I had nothing that protected itself from something like Dark Hole that doesn't target. So Leo would protect itself if it targeted, but just Dark Hole just destroys everything on the field. You know that. And I think Dark Hole, I've been, you know, I made a video a long time ago talking about how Dark Hole could go to 2. I've been thinking more about that, but you know, I guess that's a discussion for another day because I need to continue commentating this duel for you guys. So he Thunder Sequences for Vylon Prism, which I've never actually seen before this game. So you know, the fact that he can get that little level 4 tuner that's so useful in a Hunter deck. You know, I know a lot of Hunter decks are transferring to like just XCs based because the XCs monsters are a lot more powerful than level 8 synchros at this point. But when you can do the little combo with the Vylon card to gain it, to increase its attack by 1,000, you know, it's just really hard to get over, especially when it's a card like Stardust Spark Dragon that can protect itself, or Crimson Blader, which can, you know, totally mess my deck up because, you know, I need my special summons of level 5 or higher monsters to work. I need normal summons of level 5 or higher monsters. You know, I'll occasionally normal summon a Light Pulsar or a Malicious just to get it out of my hand. So yeah, at this point he is going to Maw Hunter, and just like in last game, when he Maw Hunters, and I believe that he has a big enough hand to make a huge combo play, I'm going to Baylor that to protect myself for 1 turn. He didn't attack, which is kind of unfortunate because I have Gores. And I tell him that I have Gores, you know. Last game I bluffed Triple Baylor when I only had 1, even though I did have the 1 and I used it, so you know, he might have actually thought I had Triple Baylor. This time I'm bluffing Gores, but the thing is I actually have Gores. So you know, my hand is pretty dead right now. And I'm just, you know, looking in my graveyard for options. I've got double Plague in there. I'm not exactly sure if that Malicious is live or not. I don't think it is because I believe I summoned the double level 8 Synchros last turn, meaning that I used all of my Maliciouses. So, you know, I don't have any plays at all unless I want to summon a random Plague Spreader zombie. But getting Plague and Malicious and Light Pulsar into the grave as early as possible is really imperative in this deck. Like, it's a lot more graveyard based than you'd think for a Chaos Dragon deck, because, you know, you'd think you want the boss monsters in your hand, right? But, you know, I just tried to add in the little interactions that cards in the graveyard can have, because this deck sets up the graveyard really well with, you know, Lightsworn cards. And, you know, every Chaos Dragon deck has to put Lightsworn cards. So he normal summons his Vylon, and then he is going to swing for 29. I don't think I'm going to summon Gores at this point. Maybe I should have, I don't know. I don't feel that, you know, I don't feel like it's that much of an urgent thing, because, you know, he doesn't have that big monsters on the board yet. And also, you know, if he does happen to go into something that can remove my Gores from the field during the main phase 2, that wouldn't be good for me. Because, you know, with 2 level 4 monsters on the field, one of them being a tuner, you've just got so much utility for your extra deck. I don't know what he can make that can just pop my Gores and, you know, completely render its effect irrelevant. So he goes into Spark, bringing back the Vylon card. I forget, is it Vylon Prism or Cube or something? I think it's Prism. I'm just going to call it the Vylon card. So yeah, he's got a 3500 beater that protects itself or any other card from destruction once per turn. That's the Hunter play. That's the Hunter Vylon play. That's what they do. They bring out Spark Dragons, and then you have to figure out some way to get out over the Spark Dragon. It's really hard. And, you know, with things like this, it just reminds me, like, the power creep is real right now. Like, there's a generic level 4 not synchro, a generic level rank 4, god, I can't speak at all. A generic rank 4 Xyz monster that detaches 2 to just spin a card and just completely, you know, out of sight, out of mind. It doesn't have to be special summon like 101. Not that 101, like 101, that's another card like that. Like, you can have a card that's, you know, protecting itself from destruction or any other card, and just, you know, you 101 it, oh, it can't do anything about it. You know, you can chain its effect to protect another card for the turn, but, you know, if I could bring out 101 right now, I totally would, and he'd have nothing to do about it besides, you know, chain his effect to protect something else on his board, but what use would that be? So, you know, Castel's pretty good, 101's amazing, you know, there are a lot of good rank 4s, and there are a lot of good level 8 synchros, and I try to take advantage of as many of those as I can. Speaking of which, you see that, Hot Red Dragon Archie. That is a card that does make the final cut in this deck. Hot Red Dragon Archfiend comes out on the 2nd. Some people got it early. I've seen one opening of it so far from Xander PS. You know, that's this person that I subscribe to. But yeah, he's the only person I've seen open it yet. And it actually has a misprint. It says Destroy instead of Destroy. Because as you know, it destroys all attack position monsters in the field except itself. And then only it can attack for the rest of the turn. It says Destroy. And I'm sure that's, you know, the misprint for every single copy in circulation right now. But so he goes for a Paw Hunter, and then brings out the Vylon card, and he's going to go into, I believe, Crimson Blader at this point, because, you know, that is a card that shuts down my deck. I've been bluffing Gores this entire time, so he's kind of making fun of me for that here. He's gonna pay the 8,000 to bring back the Vylon card. That's too strong. Oh my gosh, the 3,800 attack Crimson Blader. They get attack when it's attack when it attacks over something. Like, when is it not gonna attack over something? It's 3,800 attack. So he attacks for the 35, and then I have to summon Gores, otherwise he will game me. Get out my token. Token at 3,500 right now, pretty strong, right? The thing is, he has to attack my Gores because he wants to prevent me from special summoning during my next turn, and Crimson Blader has to send to the graveyard to get its effect. So, tokens don't go to the graveyard, but yeah, he sets 1, which, is just adding insult to injury because I'm pretty dead at this point. And I think at this point, I say at this point a ton, don't I? God. A lot of times when I catch myself saying something a lot in a video, like putting quotes in the description, whatever I'm saying a lot, at this point, that'll probably be in the description. Go check the description out, by the way. I link a whole bunch of stuff in the description, like the TheRJB0's channel and stuff. So, anyway, yeah. At this point, I did it again. Right now, I am going to lag out. As you can see, I just typed lagging, but yeah, so it ends right about there. So yeah, thank you for watching, YouTube. Like this video if you enjoyed it, favorite it if you liked it that much, subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos and the rest of my 100 subscriber special. Comment down below what you think about my duels, and go check out the TheRJB0's channel. And I'll see you later, YouTube.